Okay, I'm Thabang Mokhothu, senior lecturer in the chemistry department. I normally teach inorganic chemistry as well as molecular spectroscopy, and I am a C3 NRF rated researcher. Being inspired to do research, it dates back from when I was completing my honors program. I got an opportunity to do an internship program under the DST NRF program. And I was fortunate enough to be hosted at CSIR. And when I got to the facilities, I was fascinated by the type of research they were conducting, which was looking at solving real-life problems. So I was fortunate enough that I was in a group that was involved in polymer composites, as well as also drug delivery. So that gave me that interest to really take my studies further in order for me to also be one of the scientists that will conduct research. So my research is mostly focusing on using waste for value-added products. We have, for example, in agricultural waste, sugarcane bagasse or maize stalk, where all the waste that is not used after harvesting, we take the products, we actually extract that cellulose, and with the cellulose we use nanoparticles to support the cellulose nanofibers or rather cellulose in order for us to absorb pollutants in water. What drives that is that we're looking at the way wastewater treatment plants are actually treating our water. Several studies have been identified that in our ordinary surface water, tap water, we do have traces, especially with pharmaceuticals that are traced within our water system. So that is what triggered us to actually mitigate those removal of pharmaceuticals in our waste treatment plants. So the significant findings from our research, it's coming from one of my PhD students. So what we incorporated, the idea was to create a multi-filtration composite membrane, such a way that we are able to remove as much pollutants of pharmaceuticals in our wastewater treatment. And what was so significant about that is that when she exposed her material, just within 10 minutes, we had about 99% removal efficiency, which indicated that our composite material actually had an efficiency to remove those pharmaceuticals, irrespective of either the interferences that may be in water. So that gave us a clear indication that our material can work. And then also, I also did a work with one of my masters who was actually functionalizing the cellulose and supporting them with silicon nanoparticles for the target heavy metal, which is chromium-6, which is known as one of the toxic pollutants in water. And also what was interesting is that when we introduced a 2% silane functionalization on the composite itself, the student got quite a high significant efficiency of removal of chromium. So that also gave us an indication that what we're doing in the lab is actually working and it can address the challenges that we're facing in our water systems. Once I joined DUT, I was able to incorporate the analytical chemistry point of view as well as the polymers. So I'm working both on polymer science as well as to address environmental challenges. So we are contributing towards sustainable water, clean water, according to the Sustainable Development Goal number 6. So that is where I'm tapping into the research, the type of research that I'm currently doing. So therefore recycling as well as addressing the pollutants in water is quite significant, and that is where I tap in.